Hello and welcome. This is Janaka Raja from Single World News. India is known for spiritual gurus who have taught the highest philosophy to mankind for aeons. Today in the Women's Day, let's have a look at some of the very notable female gurus of India who have significantly benefited and influenced the life of millions of followers and continue to do even today. The unnamed saint in King Janaka's court. There is a beautiful story of a female saint who suddenly appeared in the Vichar sabha, a place where debates are held, of King Janaka and questioned Astabakra, son of Kahole, and proved that he wasn't Brahma Gyani. Then she briefly explained the question posed and asked him to get taught by Janaka Raja, as he too was Brahma Gyani like this unnamed female saint. Thereafter she disappeared in full view of the court. Gargi Vachaknavi, Brahmavadini Gargi Vachaknavi, the daughter of Vachaknu, is honored as a great natural philosopher, renowned expounder of the Vedas. She is said to have written many hymns in the Rigveda. In the 6th and 8th Brahmana of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, her name is prominent as she participates in the Brahma Yajna, a philosophic debate organized by Brahma Gyani King Janaka of Videha, and challenges the Brahma Gyani Sage Yajnavalkya. Brahmavadini Maitreyi was a venerated ancient Indian philosopher. 10 hymns in the Rigveda are attributed to Maitreyi, where she explored the concept of Atman in a dialogue with Brahma Gyani Sage Yajnavalkya in the Brahmavadini Upanishad. Maitreyi, who is also mentioned in a number of Puranas, is regarded as one of the most learned and virtuous women of ancient India and symbolizes intellectual women in India. She was a leading scholar who also made rich contributions to propagate education. Maitreyi is an example of the educational opportunities available to women in Vedic India and their philosophical achievements. She is considered as a symbol of Indian intellectual woman, and an institution is named in her honor in New Delhi. Hemalekha, mentioned in Tripura Rahasya, was guru to her husband, Prince Hemachudra, her mother-in-law, and many others. She slowly and beautifully takes her worldly husband on the path of Brahma Gyan. Such was her power that in time the entire city was full of Brahma Gyanis, where even the parrots spoke of renunciation and Gyan. Queen Chudala, mentioned in Yog Vashisht, became guru to her husband, King Sikidhwaj. She attained Brahma Gyan soon after instructions from scholars. Her story is detailed in Yog Vashisht. Sri Sarada Devi. Sarada Ma in recent times, Sarada Devi, the wife of Ramakrishna Paramhans, was guru to many and is considered divine incarnate. Bhairavi Brahmani. In 1861, Ramakrishna accepted Bhairavi Brahmani, an orange-robed, middle-aged female ascetic, as a teacher. She carried with her the Raghuvir Shila, a stone icon representing Ram and all Vaishnav deities. She was thoroughly conversant with the text of Gaudiya Vaishnavism and practiced Tantra. According to the Bhairavi, Ramakrishna was experiencing phenomena that accompany Mahabhav, the supreme attitude of loving devotion towards the divine. And quoting from the Bhakti Shastras, she said that other religious figures like Radha and Chaitanya had similar experiences. The Bhairavi initiated Ramakrishna into Tantra. Tantrism focuses on the worship of Shakti, and the object of tantric training is to transcend the barriers between the holy and unholy as a means of achieving liberation and to see all aspects of the natural world as manifestations of the divine Shakti. Under her guidance, Ramakrishna went through 64 major tantric sadhanas, which were completed in 1863. He began with mantra rituals such as Jap and Purakasnara, and many other rituals designed to purify the mind and establish self-control. He later proceeded towards tantric sadhanas, which generally include a set of heterodox practices called Vamchar, left-hand path, which utilize as a means of liberation activities like eating of parched grain, fish and meat, along with drinking of wine and sexual intercourse. According to Ramakrishna and his biographers, Ramakrishna did not directly participate in the last two of those activities. All that he was needed was a suggestion of them to produce the desired result. Ramakrishna acknowledged the left-hand tantric path, though it had undesirable features, as one of the valid roads to God realization. He consistently cautioned his devotees and disciples against association with it. The Bhairavi also taught Ramakrishna the Kumari Puja, a form of ritual in which the virgin goddess is worshipped symbolically in the form of a young girl. Under the tutelage of the Bhairavi, Ramakrishna also learnt Kundalini Yoga. The Bhairavi with the yogic techniques and the Tantra played an important part in the initial spiritual development of Ramakrishna. The Avvaiyars. Avvaiyars in Tamil, respectable woman, was a title of more than one poet who was active during different periods of Tamil literature. The Avvaiyar were some of the most famous and important female poets of the Tamil canon. Abhidhana Chintamani states that there were three female poets titled Avvaiyar. Among them, Avvaiyar lived during the Sangam period, that is the 1st and 2nd century CE, and had cordial relation with the Tamil chieftains Velpari and Athiyaman. She wrote 59 poems in the Purananuru. Avvaiyar too lived during the period of Kambar and Ottakuthar during the reign of the Chola dynasty in the 10th century. She is often imagined as an old and intelligent lady by Tamil people. She wrote many of the poems that remain very popular even now and are inculcated in school textbooks in Tamil Nadu. These books include a list of do's and don'ts, useful for daily life, arranged in simple and short sentences. There is a very famous legend that is associated with Avvaiyar, a prominent female poet or ethicist or political activist of Sangam period, and Naval Pajam in Tamil Nadu. Avvaiyar, believing to have achieved everything that is to be achieved, is said to have been pondering her retirement from Tamil literary work while resting under Naval Pajam tree. But she is met with the and was wittily justed by a disguised Murugan, regarded as one of the guardian deities of the Tamil language, who later revealed himself, and that made her realize that there was still a lot more to be done and learnt. Following this awakening, Avvaiyar is believed to have undertaken a fresh set of literary works targeted at children. These works, even after a millennium, are often among the very first literature that children are exposed to in Tamil Nadu schools. Ubhaya Bharti. When Adi Shankara was proceeding on his Jaitra Yatra, that is victory march, the great scholar Mandana Mishra in Mahishmati, presently Mahishishi, Sankara entered into a scholarly debate with him. Ubhaya Bharti, the wife of Mandana Mishra, was also a great scholar. She was well versed in the principles of Ritham, Satyam, Mahatattvam, etc. It was decided that Mandana Mishra would take to sannyas if he were to be defeated in the debate. Shankara chose Ubhaya Bharti to be the adjudicator of the contest. As the debate was in progress, she listened to the arguments and counter-arguments with utmost concentration. She was impartial in her judgment and declared Shankara to be the winner. Being one of wisdom, she did not feel dejected that her husband was defeated in the debate. Mandana Mishra took to sannyas in accordance with the terms and conditions of the debate. Ubhaya Bharti, being his Ardhangini, followed suit. Both husband and wife renounced the world and propagated the path of wisdom. Human life has no value if one does not acquire wisdom. To have the wisdom or the vision of the effulgent light of Atma, you have to remove the soot of ego covering your mind. This was the teaching of Ubhaya Bharti. She was living in a hermitage on the banks of the river Ganga, imparting spiritual teachings to women. Many women had become her disciples. Every day in the morning they used to go to the Ganges to have a bath. On the way, there lived a sannyasi whom people called Brahma Janani. Truly he was a renunciant and one of wisdom. However, he was very much attached to a small earthen pot in which he used to preserve water. One day he was lying down using the pot as a pillow, lest somebody might steal it. Ubaya Bharati, who was on the way to Ganges with her disciples, observed this and remarked, "Though he is one of wisdom, there is a small defect in him. He was renounced the world, but is attached to his earthen pot which he is using as his pillow." The sannyasi overheard the conversation and became angry. When Ubaya Bharati and her disciples were coming back from Ganges, he threw away the pot on the road just to show that he was not attached to it. Seeing this, Ubaya Bharati said, "I thought there was only one defect in him, Abhiman. Now I realize that he has another defect also, Ahankar." How can one with Abhiman and Ahankar be a Janani? That means one of wisdom. It was an eye-opener for the sannyas. Ubaya Bharati toured the length and breadth of the country preaching and propagating the path of wisdom. Saint Andal. Tiruppavai is a sacred poem composed with utmost love and devotion by Sri Andal at the young age of 15 years of age in praise of the Lord Vishnu, also known as Perumal, Sri Ranganath. These are 30 stanzas known as Pasurams that are written in Tamil, that is South Indian language, and is considered as a part of the Divya Prabandh, holy text, compiled by the 12 Avvaiyars of Vaishnava, followers of Vishnu. Tiruppavai is recited during the sacred month of Margashira, also known as Marzashi in Tamil, that is in the auspicious month of Dhanurmas. Dhanurmas is considered so holy and sacred that during this month, no Vedic Hindu marriages take place, as everyone wants to devote all their energy and time in the holy name of the Lord Sriman Narayan. Andal is an 8th century Tamil saint and one of the 12 Avvaiyars, and the only woman Avvaiyar of Vaishnavism. She wrote the great Tamil works of Tiruppavai, 30 verses, and Nachiyar, Tirumozi, that is 143 verses. Andal is known for her unwavering devotion to Lord Vishnu. Andal was discovered under a tulasi plant in the temple garden of Shiviliputtur by Vishnu Chitta, who was one of the most revered saints in Hinduism, Periyalvar. She was named Kodai or Goda. As she grew, her love and devotion for the Lord grew to the extent that she decided to marry none but the Lord himself. She started to live in a dream world with her beloved Lord and was constantly fantasizing about marrying him. Goda made flower garlands for her beloved Lord at the temple. She started wearing the flower garland which was meant to be offered to the Lord before sending it to the temple. One day, she was caught red-handed by her father. The Lord appeared to Vishnu Chitta in his dream and told him that he wholeheartedly accepted Goda's offering. From this day on, Goda was respected by the devotees and came to be known as Andal, the girl who ruled over the Lord. She is also known as Sudi Kodutha Sudarkodi. Periyalvar took Andal to Srirangam to marry her to the Lord Ranganath. She entered the temple sanctum and became one with him. Mirabai. Saint Mira, also known as Mirabai, was a 16th century poet and devotee of Krishna. She is a celebrated bhakti saint, particularly in the North Indian Hindu tradition. Mirabai was born into a Rajput royal family of Kudgi district of Pali, Rajasthan, India. Akka Mahadevi. Akka Mahadevi was one of the early female poets of the Kannada language and a prominent personality in the Veerashaiva Bhakti movement of 12th century. Her 430 extant Vachana poems, a form of spontaneous mystical poems, and the two short writings called Mantra Gopya and the Yogan Gatrividhi are considered her most notable contribution to Kannada literature. She composed relatively fewer poems than other saints of the movement. Yet the term Akka, elder sister, which is an honorific given to her by great Veerashaiva saints such as Basavanna, Siddharama and Allama Prabhu, is an indication of her contribution to the spiritual discussions held at the Anubhav Manta, that is, citation needed. She is in hindsight seen as an inspirational woman for Kannada literature and the history of Karnataka. She is known to have considered the god Shiva, Chenna Mallikarjuna, as her husband, traditionally understood as the Madhura Bhav or Madhurya form of devotion. So these were some of the very interesting information regarding the 12 notable female gurus of India on the auspicious occasion of Women's Day. I hope you all, the viewers present, have enjoyed this. If you want to know more interesting articles and updates like this, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel Single World News, and please press the bell icon for the latest notifications. Stay connected, keep supporting us.